What's up, everybody? So, today I feel like doing a story time. I really haven't done, I've done one story time. Sade makes thugs slow dance. But today I want to, since all the gun violence has been in the media lately, I have been a victim of gun violence twice. And I just wanted to kind of like share one of my stories. Um, One second. Okay. Um, I don't want to get copyright because of just music in the back, but I have to have music. It relaxes me. I didn't realize it was that loud, and I don't want to start over. So, I moved to Houston in 2003. I moved to Houston, and I loved it. I mean, I stayed for 15 years. Like, I absolutely loved Houston. My sister came down to visit, and she fell in love with it. This is a couple years later. And so she moved in 2005. She moved to Houston. Well, then she got an opportunity in Atlanta. And so she needed to move to Atlanta. She needed help driving her car and the rental truck and everything to help her move. So I was like, bet, I got you. I took the weekend off and I'm excited. I have a huge circle of friends in Atlanta and I was really pumped up about just going. This was an in and out trip. We were driving from Houston to Atlanta on a Friday to Saturday, and then I was flying out Monday morning to go back to Texas. So Saturday, we get there. I'm sorry, we get there Friday night. All is well. All day Saturday, we move. We actually went and got some Home Depot guys. You know what I mean? And they helped us move, and it was just a great day. Well, everybody in town found out that I was there, and they were like, "Look, we gotta go out tonight. We haven't seen you in a while. Let's go have some fun." I was like, "Bet, I want to do that too. I've been moving all day. Let's go." I was a big drinker back then, so anytime to go out and have some fun, I was always like, "Let's do it." I'm the first one dressed and ready to go. Well, it take me a while to get dressed back then, but I was always ready to go, no matter what somebody said, go to the club. So my best friend calls and he's like, hey, I'm gonna pick you up and then we're gonna go out and we're just gonna enjoy the night. Perfect. So we go out and I was a big vodka drinker back then. I hate vodka now, but I was a huge vodka drinker then. So everyone who would come up who saw me in the club, who knew me, would stop at the bar, grab a double goose on the rocks, just goose on the rocks. That's how I drank it because like I said, I used to drink back then. And they would walk up to me with goose, double goose on the rocks, like this, and just hand me this glass or a cup. I can't remember what we were drinking out of. And I was having me a merry time. I probably had four, shit, I can't remember. I think I had four double Grey Goose on the rocks. And was just having the time of my life and meeting people and enjoying my friends and reuniting with people and flirting and just, having a good night out. We left the club at, I think, Fallout. fallout was probably around 3, and we left and headed home. So I wasn't going back to my sister's place. I was going to spend the night at my friend's house, and then I was going to meet up with them in the morning. We was going to do brunch, yada yada yada. If you know, well, if you're a drinker, you know you want to get something to eat after you've been drinking, you've been at the club. Before you go to sleep, you're going to want to get something to drink. I mean, sorry, something to eat. No more to drink. No more drinks. But you want to get something to eat. And so I was telling Dennis, I was like, look, I'm hungry. He was hungry too, although he wasn't drinking because he was the designated driver. So he wasn't drinking as much as I was. And he was like, yeah, I could definitely eat something. So we headed on out, trying to find something to eat. And he knew a McDonald's that was close to his home. Well, we got there and it was closed. And we're on Highway 20 in Atlanta. And if you don't know Atlanta, Highway 20 is an east-west highway that can take you to Alabama. So it crosses Georgia, but it also goes into Alabama. And I think at that time he was living on West Atlanta, or was he Dunwoody? I can't remember where he was living in. I was always a passenger, so it really didn't matter to me about where everybody was and where we were going. I was driven. I like to be driven. So we leave McDonald's. We actually got off the highway and they had just closed, and then we got back on the highway. And we were talking the whole ride just about somebody I had met at the club and what he had been doing lately, and was just, just catching up. I hadn't seen him since I moved to Houston. I don't think I had seen him, well, maybe a couple times, but I hadn't seen him a lot since I had moved to Houston. And being in Atlanta was awesome because we could reconnect and just talking. So I'm in the passenger seat, he's driving, and I'm sitting in his car like this. Like, I'm talking to him, but I'm also looking through his driver's window. And I noticed that there's a car next to us, just a dark car, and he has his passenger window down, which was strange to me because it was pouring rain. It's also like 4 in the morning. So it's 4 in the morning, and this car's over here with his passenger window down. I thought that was the oddest thing. Like, what is he doing? Or I didn't see any smoke coming out, like somebody was sitting in there smoking or anything. So I just couldn't figure out why his passenger window was down. And I told Dennis, I saw him wave. I remember this distinctly. I saw him wave at us. And I said, Dennis, I think this guy over here is trying to get your attention. He said, oh, we ain't stunned them. And we just carried on with our conversation. The next thing we know, our windows in the car explode. The back window, the side window. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, I'm also pretty lit. I'm pretty lit. I'm 8 doubles in, or four doubles in, so technically 8 shots. And I feel good. But now windows are exploding. We're driving about 65, 70 miles per hour. It's rain coming in the car. There's that broken glass chip flying around inside the car. And once you realize what's going on, then you start to focus on things. And then we can hear tut, 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 tut. And now I realize that this person over here in this dark car is shooting at us like a full clip. I'm telling you, like it just didn't stop. Mind you, we're in a stick shift car. So Dennis is still controlling the car, and he shouts out, I'm hit, I'm hit. And I'm like, oh my God, oh shit, oh shit. My friend just got shot. The black car takes off because now we've kind of pulled over to the side to try to get an assessment or control of the situation. Dennis gets off over to the shoulder, and he's like grabbing his arm. He's like, "Fuck," he's not hit anywhere else, and I'm so concerned about him that I'm not even paying attention to my own body. He's like, "Sky, you're hit too. You're hit too." I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm worried about you." He was like, "No, look at your shirt." And I was fly this night. These were the days when I was going out trying to catch, and I was fly. I had pop tags head to toe, and I was ready to go out. Because in Atlanta, you gotta come together. You gotta be stunting from top to bottom. I had this brand new white Ralph Lauren button down, crispy cotton shirt, and it's blood all of just red all the way down. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't feel it. Like you can hear the bullets. Like now that the shooting has stopped and the guy has drove off, you can hear the bullets coming into the car. But by the grace of God, the way we were sitting back in the car and the wind and centrifugal force, whatever, we weren't hit in the neck, head area. Everything was down low. So I still couldn't tell because I had on a long sleeve shirt. I still couldn't tell what was hit on me, if it was my arm or my chest, because I couldn't feel it. And because I was drunk, I was losing copious amounts of blood, just like, like a deer, your gun just blood. So after we get our faculties back together, he's able to drive us to the nearest hospital. We park the car. We are able to walk. We park the car and we get out and we're looking at the car and it's just bullet holes all up and down the side of the car. There's no windows left. All four windows are gone. The front windshield and back windshield were intact, but both sides of the car had no windows left. And there's holes like Swiss cheese all down the sides of the car. We get out, walk into the hospital. There's not like an emergency center. I think there was a small emergency center, but we walk in, and everybody who's sitting at the little registration or whatever the little counter is, they all look up and look at us and are like, "The fuck is this?" Like they really looked at us like we were zombies walking in there. Now I'm fresh to death. I think I had my hair in twists. He has his hair in cornrows and is wearing like a wife beater. So initially, I think they thought it was a domestic dispute because we were trying to explain to them what had just happened. They rush us back into our respective rooms, get my shirt off, and realize that I don't want to take my shirt off right now, but the bullet has went through my arm into my chest. So they're like running me through the CAT scan machine, MRI, trying to see if it's in a operable place or if it's in my heart. Like, where is this bullet? I don't know what's happening to my friend at this time, but I am still so buzzed that I'm not panicking. And normally in a situation like that, you panic, you're frantic, you're just like buzzing all over the place. But I was so calm that I was joking with the interns and nurses who were helping me out. And I knew it was serious, but I wasn't feeling any pain whatsoever. So my CAT scan showed that the bullet was in my chest plate. It never entered my chest cavity, never got near a lung or a heart or anything like that. Or my heart, not a heart, not my heart. And it went straight through my arm. No ligaments, no bone, through, I think, a little bit of muscle and fat, but like it just straight through. Didn't hit anything on the way out. Kind of cauterized itself on the way out. And they said, well, we can't stitch you up. I was like, the fuck? Like, what do you mean you can't stitch it? This is something you just have to let close on its own. I was like, oh, okay. That's new for me. Then, with this in my chest, they said, well, we're not going to do surgery because if we move it, you could bleed out internally, and it would be because we took this bullet out of the place it just found a home in. Soldiers, police officers, victims of crime, walk around every day with bullets, you'll be fine. You just have to get a tetanus shot every 10 years. Now, I'm listening to all this, but I'm also worried about what's happening with my friend. As I'm worried about him, the police come in. And like, what can you tell me about the car? Can you tell me who was it? Did y'all have any arguments with anybody tonight? What do you think this was over? Do you think it was blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, sir, all I can tell you is that it was a dark four-door car. The man had his passenger window down and he was waving at us, which I now or later realized he was waving his gun. And at that time, unbeknownst to me or my friend, or maybe he knew, but there had been some random shootings in Atlanta that were on the highway or on a street, and nobody could figure out who was doing this stuff. So perpetually, we were a victim of this random shooter. I can't say that for sure. I can't even say if there was anything that, if I stepped on somebody's shoe in the club because I was drunk and they followed us. But I know we didn't do anything that required a full clip shot at us. Like there was no skirmish, nothing. I gave my number to a couple people. It wasn't like I was like, oh no, sir, you can't have my number. I wasn't acting shady. I was trying to get wet. Like you, I was just there for the weekend. I was like, what's up? So the nurse from my friend's room comes over. She's like, sir, your friend is just not handling this well. And he was in shock. And I said, look, let me call my sister. Let me get my sister up here. And she can go in the room with him and calm him down. And I'll be fine. Just let's make sure he's okay. So I call my sister. I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? And she's like, fool, what's up? It's 4 in the morning. I'm like, well, okay, don't be scared. But Dennis and I got shot tonight. She was like, what? Of course, she went berserk and everything. I was like, look, I need you to get here to this hospital because Dennis is not doing well and he needs somebody in his room to calm him down. And so she's like, we're on our way. Her and her roommate, we're on our way. They might have got there in like 10, 15 minutes because it seemed like once I hung up, they were walking in. And he was in there going berserk, like cussing out the nurses. He didn't want to talk to the cops, and the cop was cute. Oh, that. Ooh, well, Mr. Gooding, Officer Gooding. I don't know. I thought he was trying to catch too, but I was like, you know, this is a serious situation. But He seemed very friendly. I was a mess back then. I was a mess. So they let us go home. His shot is in his his bullet is in his shoulder. They're not gonna do surgery on him either. I'm like, well, damn, why don't they do surgery here? Turns out we've drove ourselves to a teaching hospital that is not set up for trauma at all. So basically, it's like a very big emergency clinic, but not for surgery and like real heavy stuff. Nobody gets sent there to them. It's more like walk-in stuff. Well, I mean, no one gets surgery there. So they let us go home. The police look at the car and they get any more details that they can from us. My sister drives us home, and I try to go to sleep, but I can't sleep. Now it's 7, 8 in the morning. No, it might have been 9 in the morning by the time they let us leave. So I'm like, shit, I gotta call my parents. So I call my parents, and my mom answers the phone. I say, hey, Mom, can you put Dad on the phone? And she's like, okay, here we go, Kenny, So she gave him the phone. I said, look, I'm gonna tell you something, but I need you to tell my mama. Because if I say it to her on the phone, she's gonna freak completely out. But if I say it to you first and explain that I'm okay, we're all right, nobody's dying or anything, but I got shot last night. And he was like, okay. Now I can understand he tripping too, but he's also trying to play it cool because now he got to deliver this message to my mom, who's sitting right next to him. And I'm sure she's staring like, what you want to talk to him and not me for? What's going on? Because that was very rare. So I said, so I'm going to hang up. You explain everything to my mom. And then I'm pretty sure she'll be calling me right back. Boom, phone rings. It's my mom. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what happened. I just know we were on the highway. It was raining. We were hungry, and we got shot. That's really the whole story. Now, let me preface this by saying my mom is a cop, and so she wants all the details, every single detail I can come up with. She thinks she's Columbo, and I had no details. None. Besides, it was a dark car. I didn't get a license plate. I didn't do anything because once the windows in the car start exploding that you're driving in, nothing else matters but your eyes. And you're trying to like not to get, not to be blinded by glass. Like you're just thinking about these other things and it's not like details like that. Like my mom probably would have had license plate, year and make of a car, what the person looked like who was driving, even though his car was fully tinted and it was dark. And she would have had all that. I didn't have all that. I still live today with this bullet in my chest. I can show you. I wear this shirt with these sleeves that are too big so I can pull this up. So I can show you where the bullet went in at. You can't see it in my chest, but you can feel it. If I put my fingers where the spot is at, you can feel it. So this was February 23rd, 2007. Oh my goodness, that's coming up, February 23rd. So this is where the bullet went in. It came out through this spot here, went in that spot there, came out through that spot, and went straight into my chest, where it's lived for the last going on 11 years here on the 23rd. Gun violence in this country doesn't matter to anybody. Yes, people die every day. Loved ones care. But to the powers that be, the people who can actually do something about it, it doesn't matter for two reasons. The NRA has so much money, and it constantly puts money in the coffers of the politicians who can make these changes. Number two, most victims of gun crime are not white. I'm just gonna, yes, these mass shootings are generally mostly white victims. Every time one of these mass shooters comes up, except for the church in Virginia, every other one has pretty much been white victims. Pulse, Pulse in Orlando was a lot of Hispanics, but the others have mostly been white people. But everyday gun violence normally happens to a person of brown skin. And because of that reason, the powers that be will never truly care about making a difference. Even with this terrible situation we just went through in Florida, it's not enough. Because it's like the chances of winning the lottery uh, is so far and few between. Even though it happens so much in this country, it's still not enough. It's still not enough. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, was not designed for the right to create a militia and enjoy guns, a gun culture. It was actually designed so that in times of war, if citizens are called to help keep the country safe against an intruder, you have the right to bear arms against this oppressor that's coming in to try to, damage the country. That's really what it was about. It's not about just having guns and people who. I know a guy who has 40 guns. What do you need 40 guns for? He got monster guns. Monster. I'm not a gun person. I don't like guns. I've always been afraid of guns. I have fired a gun at a gun range before, hated it. But this guy has those, is super loud. What's it? Mossberg or something like that. And I'm just watching him shoot this. I'm like, what are you getting out of this? What is that about? Because if you're not home one day and somebody breaks in and gets your whole arsenal, now you've just put 40 more guns into the hands of people who shouldn't have them. So they're going to do this march. These teenagers are going to do this march on my birthday, March 24th. And nothing's going to change. People will gather and they'll be glad to see that there's some young people with unity about it. But until those young people are my age, they really won't have the impact to really make a change with the government. Right now is not the time that anybody's going to take gun laws serious because everyone's making too much money off of it. And every time they raise the price of bullets, people like the president who is in place now, who owns a subsidiary that has money in this and this metal and all this, they just keep making money. It's not about human life or human loss. That matters none. People die every day. Somebody's dying right now. Somebody just died a moment ago. Somebody's going to die in a second. So the death thing for them doesn't weigh. It's the financial thing that is paramount here. So, as a victim of gun violence, and I cannot stand guns, as much as I hurt when I see someone like these 17 people in this most recent one, or Las Vegas. That was crazy that this man just sat in a hotel and just picked these people off, like ducks. And I understand the fear, but I survived mine. I have a testimony. The people who die matter to their family, and then the news cycle will have something new to talk about. Kim Kardashian will do something. Russia will say something crazy, and the news cycles will forget about the 17 people who just died. And that's how our system works. So if you're uptight and you're all upset about gun violence and gun control, save your breath, because nothing is going to happen anytime soon. Give it maybe 10 years. But during this presidency, this Senate, nothing's going to happen. So thanks for joining me for this story time. My first real story time, because the last one was very short. Please subscribe. I have a lot more stuff coming out, and I've been through a lot. I've had a storied life. So maybe I'll have some more story times before too late. Y'all have a great day wherever you are. Thanks for watching.